Yo, what's up guys, welcome back. Next match, Cross-Banlist. So second match, Group A. We saw in the previous episode that, Burning Abyss took it from Dragon Rulers, kinda close. Clutch game 5. With side deck right, so post side deck, I guess it was in favor of Burning Abyss a little bit. So the next matchup, second match here in Group A, we have Fishborg Frog. So Edison format is definitely, represented here in the Cross-Banlist Cup. This year it's going to take on good old favorite Dark Arm Dragon, that return before, I guess, the emergency list of, when was that, 2008-ish. Well, was it 17 years ago, I think so. So which deck has the advantage? It's relatively close. Community tab voting should be up for the next video as well. So I could definitely agree. In favor of, at least in case of dead return, there are some dead bricks like Malicious Dasher, Jinzo, unless of course you have the perfect draw hand with Allure, with Destiny Jaw. But I think consistency wise, I feel that dead return is a little bit less consistent compared to Frogs, right? Fishborg Frogs. Featuring Substitute and stuff like that. It's a nifty version, featuring Dandelion. It's a hard deck to pilot. I mean, there's some iffy interactions. So anyway, slow start. The Crush card pre-errata by the way, but it's not that great against Fishborg Frog. So what does it do? Fishborg Frogs is kind of straightforward. It could be a slow deck sitting on Dupe Frog, for example, and just setting one monster right, like Treeborn Frog. But as soon as you have access to Substitute, that's where things get nasty. The thing is that they, without, let's say, 1-for-1 Foolish or whatever, the deck's not really able to get to Fishborg. Fishborg is important for, the tuner engine, as a tuner, for the synchros. And the reason why this Fishborg Frog deck is so deadly, especially in Edison format, is that it uses the Armory Arm Colossal Fighter OTK with the greatest of ease, right? As soon as your opponent has a strong monster on their field, just make Armory Arm, equip it to your opponent's monster, and then make Colossal Fighter, and then attack every time into that monster, right? A Colossal Fighter will get destroyed, your opponent will get the burn damage due to Armory Arm. I think that's not possible anymore because of the errata years ago. But this deck, if your opponent does, put up a big attack boss monster, or at least a big attack monster, which is, super easy in Edison format, and decks aren't already making that many traps or back row or disruption, lack of hand traps, etc. So it's relatively, easy for this deck to OTK. And speaking of an OTK, if the deck is not able to, pump out big stuff, it can just end on double Dupe Frog, which again is super threatening in that particular format. It's hard to get rid of, brain control, chaos, stuff like that. Again, iffy hand, an early, what was it, Return from a Different Dimension? But again, it didn't give me the necessary answers. I could have said Scapegoat. The problem is that Scapegoat might clock my field. All the plasma that could, get rid of it, and your opponent can just say, nope, we don't need to attack. But on the other hand, the deck is freely able to go for, as you see here on screen, Red Dragon Archfiend. So it didn't really matter. At least it would not have mattered. And here the Armory Arm wasn't really needed, I guess. Because of the Return from a Different Dimension. I mean, even without Return, this would have been game, right? Just get out a couple of Dupe Frogs. And this was an interaction I just forgot, probably, is that, and that's why Dandelion is there. You can tribute the tokens from Dandelion because of due to Substitute. I always thought Substitute needed to tribute a water type or something. Anyway, so this is much better. A couple of draws, this commander for, that draw. Premature Burial, Monster Reborn, but making sure that, if it's like a deck, at least if you know that your opponent is playing Monster Reborn, it's iffy to leave your Demok, Dark Magician of Chaos, or this commander in graveyard. So again, nifty interaction. The Torrential got them off guard. The triple pot of Avarice might be awkward, but, with Substitute, it's basically almost instantly live. Anyway, so what is it? I forgot the name. It is the one that hits the back row. Now we are going for Scapegoat because we have Cyber Valley. I guess for this particular deck, 2008 should be Jerry Wang's build. If you're an old school OG player, you definitely know Jerry Wang. Won a couple of Shonen Jumps, piloting nifty techs in his decks, and one example in that return was indeed Cyber Valley. Brain controlling your opponent's monster, banishing to banish itself to draw 2, or stack the top card of your deck, etc. Right, with Cyber Valley. So we go for Plasma, and this should be almost should be instantly game against the deck. Finally, you know, get the engine going, but those dark arms always being stuck in my hand. So no monster effects, and they're not able to draw into an out. We could go for return, 3 return, right? I think, what was it, the emergency list got Dimension Fusion banned and returned to 1, I think. I think it, because it was the weekend or 2 weekends before our Nationals back in 2008. I remember that one. So drop both, that's nice. We can pop and finally attack for game. Okay, so it's not, you know, game just yet. And this is one of the cards that definitely, you know, boost the consistency of the Fishborg Frog deck, you know, 3 Moreira of Greed. I guess, you know, increase the consistency of drawing Substitute plus Swap, even though there's no Ronin Totem. You know, the deck can just do shenanigans. And, yes, the thing is that with Fishborg Frogs in, you know, in its respective format, 2010, the deck can just end on, let's say, set Treeborn or set Dupe and pass. It's very hard, you know, to OTK, maybe Blackwings. But here in this case, that can definitely, you know, do a big push. So I guess, yeah, you definitely want to end on double Dupe Frog for, you know, not getting OTK'd. So we go for Scapegoat again, we have Valley, we have Ryza, even though, you know, the Goat Ogres cannot be treated. The problem is that are they able to deal with my field? They can, I mean, okay, yeah, this is, well, I'm not going to lie, this is kind of iffy. Double Dupe, so now with, you know, because the double Dupe is face up on the field, I cannot attack with Flip-Flop, what is the Flip-Flop Frog? You know, bouncing back your opponent's monsters. Death Frog and Substitute for extra protection. Not going to lie, that was kind of iffy. Again, I was forced to use my normal summon for Stratos, and Stratos into Plasma was one of my few outs for this particular board. So now, again, Child's Play, the Monster Reborn as a sick top deck. For this commander. Pot of Greed, yes. But we draw 2 bricks, I was like, come on, like my hands. So they get stuff back, the Swap Frog. I mean, Plasma is still on field. Like, what are the options? back row, I guess. Yeah, what is it? Dimensional Prison, Mirror Force, Torrential are all cards. I think that deck is side decking. I think so. They keep Heavy Storm, yeah, kind of makes sense. So again, slowly playing the game. They can deck swap, that's fine. We can go for Valley, stack the top card, or draw 2. Draw 2. We draw Wing Blast, that's perfect. But the problem, okay, yeah, they could Heavy Storm, but, you know, they can, then, you know, Plasma can use its effect. So you need to stall it out a little bit. But we should be able to make a push. Go for Malicious first. D-draw for 2 and then tribute for Jinzo. Right. Yeah, potential Dimensional Prison or whatever, but, you know, it's Reckless Greed. To 2-2. Nice comeback. Okay, so we'll see. Oof, that hand is stacked. Brain Control, Pre-Errata, and double Reckless Greed. Like, this was what I was talking about. Like, just setting 2. You know, we see it's Reckless, but like a good hand, a good dead return hand, could probably make a big push. But that needs a solid hand, and I wasn't able to do that. So Transmigration Prophecy, it's a weaker DD Crow, basically. Up to 2, send it back to the deck. But yeah, I mean, that deck is, at least that hand is super stacked, especially because of double Reckless Greed. Draw 4, you definitely have all the key cards by then. So this 1-for-1 Dandy. You know, the tokens from Dandelion can be tributed off of Substitute. So they can basically just spam the board. Let's say Armory Arm, the Colossal Fighter OTK doesn't work, I think, yeah. Because Stratos with the Armory Arm equipped are attached will have 2800, and unless his Colossal Fighter gets an attack boost, that will just be a Suicide Crash. But I mean that they can, you know, just pump out big beatsticks, right? And this is also Pre-Errata Brionek that can use its effect multiple times during the same turn. So multiple Goyos, I guess. Yeah, another Goyo. Brain Control, alright, and you can tribute Stratos. Yeah. I mean, it felt relatively close, but consistency-wise, like, I felt that here now, again, this matchup, I felt that Fishborg Frog was a bit consistent, more consistent compared to that return. But yeah, like, first group, relatively close. Next matchup, Yugioh Fiendsmith versus Lilith's Tri-Brigade, so bird up. And keep in mind, as you saw in the list in the community tab for votes, the Tri-Brigade deck, Lilith's deck, is running the Wind Barrier statue. Okay, so feel free to leave your predictions. Okay guys, that's it, thanks for watching. Feel free to leave a comment or like if you enjoyed the video. Riddim signing out. Peace.